Okay, let's talk about the effect of junk food on health. Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving deep into some truly mind-blowing insights from Professor Ahmad Setin. He's a professor of medical genetics, so he really knows his stuff. We're going to uncover the startling biological truth about our modern diets. We'll look at an incredible human story of longevity and, well, contrast it with some laboratory science that is honestly going to shock you.
Right, let's jump straight in by introducing a seriously remarkable guy, Dr. John Scharfenberg, 100. Yep, that is his age. But the absolute craziest part here is that this professor of nutrition isn't just surviving, he's totally thriving. He is over a century old and he's still out there walking every single day. He even retains the sharp reflexes required to safely drive his car at night. I mean, that's the kind of vitality most of us can only dream of having in our later years.
So, naturally, this leads us to ask the million-dollar question, doesn't it? What exactly is his secret? How on earth does someone completely bypass all those chronic illnesses that just seem to inevitably plague our modern society? How do you keep your body and your mind functioning that sharply well past the century of life? Well, it doesn't come from magic. The answer is deeply embedded in his incredibly strict daily lifestyle and, most importantly, his nutritional choices.
You see, his secret heavily revolves around a specific dietary approach. He thrives as a vegetarian. And as Professor Setin clarifies in his research, we need to be specific about what that means. A vegetarian diet is primarily plants, sure, but crucially it allows for animal byproducts, specifically things like eggs and dairy. So it's actually really distinct from strict vegans who consume absolutely zero animal products whatsoever, or fruitarians who restrict their diets almost entirely to fruit. It's a very structured, balanced approach to eating.
But it doesn't stop at just the food. This builds into a much broader lifestyle, governed by 7 golden rules for longevity, and they are clear, actionable, and totally uncompromising. First up, completely quitting smoking. Second, absolutely no alcohol. Third is daily exercise, specifically making it a habit to walk at least 2 miles every single day. 4 and 5 really go hand in hand, maintaining a healthy weight and fiercely avoiding obesity. And finally, improving nutrition by strictly avoiding sugars, meat, and, the big one, processed foods. By sticking to this exact regimen, he effectively wipes out the risks of high blood pressure and elevated cholesterol.
Now contrast his pristine century-long habits with what so many people, especially the youth, are consuming today. We're talking the standard modern menu: hot dogs, fries, burgers, fried chicken, pastries, pizza, cupcakes, donuts, all washed down with those sugary coffees and sodas. You know the drill. Professor Setin actually translates the term for this food into Arabic as literally trash food. And man, when you frame it like that, it fundamentally changes how you look at your next quick meal. It isn't just fast convenience, it's nutritional waste that is actively harming the body.
And if you want to know exactly why we crave this trash food, Professor Setin brilliantly illustrates the shocking scientific twist behind it. Researchers conducted a laboratory experiment using rats. Now, naturally, these specific test rats drink only water, right? They have absolutely zero interest in alcohol. But then, scientists took standard junk food, dried it out, ground it up into a powder, and fed it to the rats. What happened next is terrifying. The rats' brains actually began to produce opium in response to the junk food. This biochemical reaction altered their behavior so drastically that they gradually started drinking alcohol and eventually became full-blown alcohol addicts. The junk food literally reprogrammed their brains for chemical dependency.
To prove this biological trap was specifically tied to the opium receptors in the brain, the scientists took a medical approach. They injected these newly addicted, alcohol-drinking rats with naloxone. If you aren't familiar, naloxone is a powerful medication used to rapidly reverse opioid overdoses. It completely blocks opium in the brain. Astonishingly, the moment the naloxone took effect, the rats immediately stopped craving alcohol. Their addiction just vanished instantly, and they went right back to drinking regular water. This conclusively proves that junk food acts on the brain's addiction pathways in a very real physical way.
This addiction is incredibly dangerous because it leads directly to a severe health fallout, basically splitting into 2 devastating categories. On the physical side, it causes severe nutritional diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and high blood lipids, which ultimately leaves you highly vulnerable to fatal heart attacks and strokes. But look at the mental and cognitive column. This exact same junk food addiction leads to weak brain function, forgetfulness, a severe lack of focus, and even Alzheimer's disease. Furthermore, it triggers severe psychological and physical pain disorders, including stress, depression, and fibromyalgia. It is a total, full-body system collapse.
So, how do we escape this vicious cycle of addiction and disease? Well, Professor Seton heavily echoes Dr. Scharfenberg's century-tested advice with a simple, three-step healthy life prescription. First, you must eat natural, unprocessed foods, relying heavily on vegetables and fresh fruits. Second, and this is super important for your body's rhythm, you need to stick to fixed meal times throughout the day. And third, you must completely eliminate those extra daily snacks. Seriously, cutting out the snacking stops the constant drip of addictive processed ingredients right into your brain, which allows you to easily control your weight and maintain a crystal clear mind.
I want to leave you with a final provocative thought to really reflect on as we wrap up this explainer. Are your daily snacks actually worth the addiction? Next time you reach for that highly processed treat, consider the invisible biology happening deep within your brain. Think about those laboratory rats and the opium response. Are you truly feeding your body, or are you just feeding a biological addiction that could rob you of decades of healthy life? Honestly ask yourself if that quick bite is truly worth the cost. Keep exploring the truth behind what you consume, and above all, stay focused on your health.